And we're live. Things running slow on my end, but we're live. We're back from Virginia. The reason why I didn't do a mobile stream is because it's still 84 degrees out at night, and it's humid as fuck, and I don't have air conditioning in my car. It was too hot to drive. It was too hot to drive the whole, with the windows. So I said, fuck it, I'll do it when I get home. And then I just jumped in the shower real quick and said, come on, let's do this. Let's do this. Title of tonight's stream, and I just thought of it like literally moments before I clicked live, but the title of tonight's stream is The Dissident Right, which was a term that was used for right-wing people who were unhappy with the status quo back in the day. Trump's first term, the Dissident Right organized a rally in Charlottesville, Virginia, which I attended. And it was called Unite the Right, and it was a whole big disaster. And it was led that way specifically by a homosexual named Richard Spencer, who's almost 100% certainly a CIA asset. And who else was there? It was like David Duke and a bunch of them. Anyway, the whole thing was steered into a ditch, and it was a complete clusterfuck. But we were a tiny, scattered, and hated minority back then. But now, after Trump's illegal, unconstitutional strike on Iran this weekend, I'm guessing like 75% of America now identifies as the dissident right. So that's pretty funny. So the group has gotten larger. The exact opposite of what they'd hoped happened, because everybody wants this thing to stop. Unfortunately, what I know and what they don't know, or what they haven't realized, is it's not going to stop. It's not going to stop, and it's not going to stop as long as the Federal Reserve note is accepted as legal tender in the United States and elsewhere. That's just the way it is. So money talks and bullshit walks. And they still, the slavery coupons and fucking permission slips are still what they call money. And that's it. And that's until that changes, really nothing changes. So, and when you see stuff like this is a good graphic. You see stuff like this, and you just got to think, all right, that's a bad sign. That's what they call a hockey stick graph, where shit just goes up and to the right in an extreme angle, and that's the U.S. national debt over the last 100 years. And you can see that, in the last 20 or 30 years, it's really been rocking. So the debt load will become unsustainable. We know that eventually, and people will be done with us. And the dollar will lose its global reserve status, and something will have to take its place. It's not going to be gold coins, and it's not going to be barrels of oil, and it's not going to be bushels of wheat or ears of corn. That's not going to happen. It isn't going to be that, because we have to compete with the Chinese. Okay, China's payment system, I mentioned this last week, spreads across Africa and Asia amid U.S. trade war. That's their digital banking cross-border payment system. And you could say, well, there's no fucking money in Africa, and these little Asian economies don't have whatever. But the point is, they're growing and growing at a really rapid rate with lower fees, no politics. You don't have to do a gay pride parade for them, and you get your money in 7 seconds. That's why they're pushing this crypto shit in America. That's why Trump did the 180, and we got to get stable coins. We got to get digital dollars flying around super fast because the Chinese are ahead of us. We are chasing them down in a bunch of fucking areas, and because they've wisely, in the last 50 years, decided to spread the wealth around in a more even fashion, and the Western world increasingly, because the elite is hostile to the people that rules, the parasitical elite of the West funnels more and more and more wealth up to the top, and hollows out everything underneath it, whereas the Chinese are building up. So listen, for most of China's history, for 4,950 years, it really, really sucked to be a Chinaman. It sucked so incredibly badly. It's impossible to tell you how bad it sucked. And the last 50 years, they kind of caught on. Will it last? Well, it'd be nice if, fingers crossed. Hope it goes well for you boys. But for the moment, they're real proud of themselves and they're feeling real strong. And it's got the leaders in the West more than a little bit nervous, right? I keep harping on this shit over and over and over and over again. Nuclear, fucking nuclear. China to double its nuclear power capacity by 2040 in a rapid buildup. And their nuclear capacity is already greater than ours, okay? And they're going to double it. They say that China adds an entire U.S. electrical grid, like the whole U.S. electrical grid. China adds that much to its existing grid every 18 months. And we don't really have, have that much of a chance. We don't have a whole lot of fucking choice here. We don't have a choice because we got to catch up to these guys. And I missed this last year, but this is on the same exact theme. Oracle, the CIA front company run by Larry Ellison, the 7th or 8th richest billionaire on the planet, will use 3 small nuclear reactors to power its 1 gigawatt data center, which they're going to have in Northern Virginia. This, by the way, this was dated September 11th, 2024. That's interesting timing for the article, but the CIA wants what are called small nuclear reactors, or small SMR, small modular reactors. That's what the CIA wants. That's what the CIA is going to fucking get. There are, I think, 3 companies I know that are doing that. One used to be run by this guy, our friend Sam Altman, the homosexual Jew, who was the CEO of Oklo, which I have call options on. But Oklo just won a big contract with the Air Force in Alaska or some shit like that. And then OpenAI just got another $200 million deal with the U.S. military. OpenAI is not publicly traded, but you have to understand hundreds of millions and billions of dollars will be funneled towards this guy and everything he ever touched. And that nuclear power company called Oklo, OKLO, just got some fucking big contract. Surprise. You can, if you have the eyes to see it, you can fucking see it. The shape is obvious, but you have to shift your fucking perspective from waiting for Hitler to save you to fucking saving yourself. And that's extremely hard for people. That is mind-blowingly hard for people to do, because you still think that Hitler's going to come back and make all the Africans swim back to Africa with the Jews strapped to their back. And it's just not going to happen. And no one's going to fucking hand you the keys to the money printer. That's not going to happen either, right? There's no way you're going to scare the Jews by red pilling people and letting them know that there were wooden doors at Auschwitz or whatever the fuck. Like, nobody fucking cares. You're not getting the keys to the money printer. It just isn't going to happen. So you need to fucking straighten your head out, which is tough because you'll probably be in the hospital because you smoke too much fucking weed. Judas Lachai, the based Persian, I think he's calling himself rabbi these days, big fan of the devil's cabbage. But we have a big study out of Europa, out of Europa, that marijuana use dramatically increases risk of dying from heart attacks and strokes. Say what? Oh, you mean all that anxiety you get when you smoke weed is not the fault of the Catholic Church? And it says, what is it? There's a big study with like 200 million people or something, but it literally doubles your chance of getting a heart attack or stroke. So stop smoking weed. Stop smoking weed. Start taking creatine and exercise. All right? Be smart. Be smarter than you are. Don't go fucking get yourself all stoned out. Because if you smoke too much weed, you will end up doing really dumb shit and believing dumb shit, and you don't want to do that. You would prefer not to do that. This is enough crap. There's really enough crap going on. And you would do well to have your mind fucking clear. You would do well to have your mind clear. So everything, of course, is the. Oh wait, where's this? Is actually my favorite video. Where's my favorite video? Here it is. If this is true, big, if true, as they say. A 15-second video that I really think is true. So what it said is that an Iranian missile hit the Mossad headquarters where Unit 8200 is. And I believe that. And the reason why I believe that is because every time I'm on Instagram and they show me Nick Fuentes, the protege of Richard Spencer, the CIA's shortest homosexual operative. Every time they show me Nick Fuentes, I told you I type in Nick Fuentes is a gay midget who works for the CIA. And I type that in and I wait for the response. And the response a lot of times comes within 5 minutes. But the last couple of days, since that video, since the strike on Unit 8200, I still see the Nick Fuentes Instagram reel, and I write that he's a gay midget who works for the CIA, but nobody responds. No one's pushing back at all. And I'm like, oh, I guess because their buildings destroyed and their servers destroyed. And Unit 8200 is now, I don't know, fighting cyber warfare from tents somewhere on the island of Cyprus, where everyone's running off to. It's not just that the people of Israel are running away, but they're hiding their air force on Cyprus, because Cyprus is basically run by the English. There's two air bases that are English territory on Cyprus, and that's where what's his name? Israel's hiding their airplanes because they're afraid their airplanes will get blown up by Iran. How bad are things? This is a guy you haven't seen for a while. You haven't seen since 2003. Some of you might remember Scott Ritter. He was a United Nations weapons inspector who went to Iraq looking for WMD prior to the invasion of Iraq, and he said Iraq does not have WMD. And they said, shut your mouth. We're going in anyway. And that's that. And so, here we are 22 years later, and Scott Ritter has been, somebody dug him up and decided to chat with him. And I don't know if he's accurate here. I don't know if he's correct here, but he's got an interesting perspective.
The fact that the Israelis won't end this war is sort of an act of suicide on the part of Israel. Today, 1 week into this conflict, Israel has suffered a $500 billion worth of infrastructure damage. $500 billion worth of infrastructure damage. It's a small country. This has already made this, if the war stopped today, Israel would not be able to recover from this conflict economically. $500 billion. If this war continues for another week, 2 weeks, or 3 weeks, you're looking at the physical destruction of Israel. Literally, the physical destruction of Israel, which makes Israel's survivability as a nation state impossible. Israel is committing suicide as we speak because of the Iranian strategy. So for the critics, what did they want? I mean, the critics of Iran, were they looking for Iran to defeat Israel? Iran is defeating Israel. And Iran is defeating Israel in the only manner that is politically possible for Israel to make the decisions that lead to its destruction, not Iran.
So, is Scott Ritter correct? Is the infrastructure damage to Israel so great that they cannot recover? I don't know, but fascinating. You know, supposedly the stock exchange was hit, the diamond exchange was hit, which is still a source of money for them. Who's buying diamonds? Who the fuck is buying diamonds? But apparently people still buy diamonds. Here's the video of the stock market getting hit.
תראו מה קרה בחוץ, אתם לא מאמינים.
אימא'לה, כל הרחוב נשבר, אין יותר, יואו, אתם לא מבינים מה קורה פה.
דנה, תראי מה קרה לבניין שלך, אינצ'יינג', הלך.
הלך כל המקלאווי. יואו, רגע, מה, אימא'לה? עמי, תקשיבי, אימא'לה, תקשיבי, לא, אבל תראי.
וואו, תראו מה קרה לבניינים למטה.
אימא'לה, תראי את זה. תקשיבי, אין פה פילים רחוב, תראי.
So if that's where the stock market was, it's in pretty rough shape. And maybe, who knows, maybe there's be no more short sellers in the American market. No one will short the American market, so the American market will take off. Who knows? I don't know. But all of this is, listen, the entire world is united. You guys all love unity. You hate democracy. You want unity, unity, unity. Well, the world is unified. Stop the war. And guess what? The war ain't going to fucking stop, right? The war's not going to stop because there's some dude, I think his name is Reza Pahlavi, who has already been chosen as Iran's new president. So there it is. They got their pigeon. They got their new pigeon. He's touching the wall. Oh, come on, make me president. Come on, make me president. So is it going to happen? I've said that I think that America probably bleeds out trying to compete with China and protect Israel at the same time. And it looks like what's going to happen because we're not stopping at this one airstrike. Although I haven't heard anything about troop movements or how many troops are going to be necessary or whatever. They're not even talking about it. They're not even pretending to talk about that because we don't have the soldiers, boots on the ground, to actually take them out. I don't think we do. I could be wrong, but I don't think we do because if we did, we'd be moving them into place. We'd be they'd be showing up in Saudi Arabian bases and running around with their little fucking forklifts, doing all their stuff, positioning equipment and stuff that they would need to go in on the ground. So we're going to pound them from the air and do a bunch of dirty tricks. But I don't know if that's going to be sufficient to put Mr. Pahlavi, the wall toucher, in power. So for now, because the memes are a-flowing. There is a meme, and the one of my favorite ones, which fits because I like to compare world events to combat sports. Is this one?
It's not moving that well. Oh! Camille's in real trouble. Oh my goodness, you're far close to trying to close the show. Oh!
Crowd senses something could climactically happen here.
Oh! Camille hurt him! Camille hurt him! Oh! Oh, he's got crazy!
Oh, that's brutal, man. Making, they used to Photoshop to make the Shah of Iran beat up Netanyahu, who apparently, they've done nothing wrong. What could they possibly do? They're such innocent victims, aren't they? Aren't they? Yes, they are. So what else is going on? I don't even know what I'm looking at. Okay, yeah. There's I got a couple more screen shares. I'll tell you what, let's do this. The other thing domestically is Trump and Elon supposedly had a breakup, and I suppose they did. I don't know how they don't script this stuff as tightly as they probably should, but they told Elon, who's a fucking junkie, break up with Trump publicly. So he said, "Oh, you're a pedo. You're in the Epstein files," and then Trump was like, "Fuck." Wigged out on that one. He should have said something else. I don't know what he should have said. But he should have said that. And then they know Trump's going to punish Elon. And here's the clue. Here is the clue of when Elon Musk said that stupid shit, Jeff Bezos just fucking literally pissed himself with happiness. And Jeff Bezos is going to make a gajillion fucking dollars. Because here's the other news item that shows that SpaceX is done. It's cooked.
Probably. I mean, even the other day when they... Whoa!
Whoa! What? That's
No!
Oh my God. It appears there has been a
Ship
row.
36 just blew up. Probably. I mean, even the other day when they... Whoa!
Whoa! What? That's not good.
No!
Oh my God. It appears there has been a
Ship
row.
36 just blew up.
Don't worry. It's just like the Challenger disaster. Nobody really died. Everyone's safe. But, Elon Musk's magical missiles or rockets that could land straight up and down like a fucking helicopter now can't even get off the launch pad. And they expect you to believe that because they put a big fireball there and people went, oh my God. Right? So what's Elon going to do? What are they going to do with Elon? Elon's a good puppet. He needs a new job. So this is going to be Elon's new job. Elon's going to take Twitter and turn it into stonks and shit coins. So investing and trading shit coins. So stonks and shit coins is what's going to happen. Elon, and you say, but what about the electric cars? I told you that the electric cars are coming, but they're coming from China. Right? I'm not a fan of electric cars. Where's the story telling you that? Oh yeah, here it is. It's like a minute 40 seconds. 100%. I'm gonna look like a genius in a year or two when you see Chinese fucking electric cars all over the place.
Just how bad is China's EV price war? Bad enough that industry leaders are sounding the alarm after the latest rounds of price cuts led by the world's largest EV maker, BYD. XPeng's co-founder welcomed efforts by the Chinese government to rein it in, but warned that the price war won't be ending soon with fierce competition and rapid technological advances.
We are strongly opposed to price wars. We are just starting out, and we're not as robust as others.
Leapmotor, known for its budget EVs, says the company has anticipated the scenario, but it's still not happy about it.
We strongly dislike engaging in price wars. We hope that Leapmotor's prices will remain stable.
Earlier, the CEO of Great Wall Motor went so far as to suggest the EV sector could face an Evergrande-style implosion, referring to China's property crisis after years of rapid debt-driven growth. Some analysts say the Evergrande comparison is misplaced, but Chinese automakers will need to find new markets to address the problem of overcapacity.
I think that's an exaggerated concern. I think the reality is the Chinese industry has super scaled the EV lane. They do have a problem with overcapacity for sure.
The catch, though, is exporting won't be easy if other countries respond with tariffs or other protectionist measures. Chinese EV makers can build cars abroad and boost local industries, but analysts say that misses the point, as exports are meant to ease China's factory overcapacity.
So who's putting tariffs on China? America, right? So there's the hint of where all that excess capacity is eventually going to go. They're going to make a deal to bring Chinese electric cars to America because they're 10 times better than the shitty fucking Teslas. And they're going to try and turn everybody into electric everything, right? That's why California says no new internal combustion engines after 2035. And the state of New York says no new construction with natural gas stoves after like 2029 or whatever. Like everything is being oriented towards electrical, and that means nuclear. And that is so fucking obvious that if you miss it, I cannot help you overcome your selective attention. You are crippled by it. You must overcome it yourself. You must overcome it yourself. What is that? That's federal plate. What the fuck is that? Oh, for Christ's sake. Anyway, but the U.S. has a problem, and everybody knows what the problem is. The problem is debt, and we have a nice, I don't know, some dark-haired looking dude to explain it to us.
So how can USA owe money to everyone and still be the richest country in the world? Apparently the US is like this guy Chad who owes me money. But then I see his Instagram post on a yacht with supermodels. Hi Chad. So how does this scheme work? The USA will spend $6 trillion this year, but it only collects $5 trillion in taxes. So where does the US get the missing $1 trillion? It borrows dollars from countries all over the world. Countries have huge dollar savings because the global trade happens in dollars. When Japan sells this Toyota to Brazil, they get dollars. When China sells these shirts, they also get dollars. So let's say China now has $100 billion. If they leave it on the table, the inflation eats it. So China says we need to invest this in something safe. And the US says, oh, perfect. We're short on cash. Lend us your dollars and we'll pay you 4% interest per year. And in 10 years, we'll give you $100 billion back. So the US gives China this piece of paper called a government bond. It says, if you lend us $1,000 today, we'll pay you $40 a year of interest. And in 10 years, we'll return you $1,000. So why does China trust this pinky promise? Well, the US is like the House of Lannister. Everyone knows that Lannister always pays his debt. So USA is the safest possible investment. So every country in the world lends their dollars to the USA, and that's how the US national debt keeps growing. But this debt has become alarmingly high recently. The US now pays $1 trillion a year in interest to all these countries holding their bonds. That's like 25% of the entire federal budget. This can lead to a debt spiral and a massive inflation. Let me show you what that looks like. This is Tesla on a $10 billion bill from Yugoslavia, where I was born. And I remember my mother could buy just one egg with this note. So national debt is a good thing if it's under control. But as Tesla said, no machine can run forever on borrowed energy.
Wow, your entire life savings for one egg. You know, that's rough. So that guy's wrong. Debt is not good. And debt is never under control. It always gets out of control, and it always destroys the nation or the empire or whatever. That's how it works. That's how it works when you have a small group of people in charge of all the fucking money. That is the way it's always worked. That's the real history. They're not telling you that you will look at, because you look at history through a series of political fairy tales. And until you abandon those fairy tales, which is going to be hard. I mean, you lost Santa Claus, you lost the Easter Bunny, the Tooth Fairy, those three myths that were shattered inside you, have got you shook. And you can't, you invested your heart and soul in Adolf Hitler coming to rescue you, and you can't give up on that fairy tale. So it's very, very, very hard to do. Very hard to do. So you feel like you got to hang on. You feel like no, that can't be true. We can fix it. No, you can't fix it. It cannot be fixed. It cannot be fixed using the current system. You cannot fix a broken economic system with that same broken money, because this is what we have. We have so much of this. This is my favorite college student of all time.
Anyways, bro, school's a scam. Whatever school you go to, drop out and start fucking gambling, bro. Niggas not trying to hear about Christopher Columbus, Abraham Lincoln finding the map and fucking finding the Atlantic Ocean. Like, nigga, we don't give a fuck about that shit, cuz. You think we give a fuck about that nigga finding the Atlantic Ocean, nigga? Nigga, teach us about Pablo Escobar moving bricks, cuz. Teach us some shit about crypto, man. Teach us some shit about fucking financial taxes, man. Like, yeah, teach us about gambling. They should give us gambling classes, I swear to God, bro. Like, I will be the teacher.
I don't give a fuck about Abraham Lincoln fighting the ocean on the map. You want to fight the ocean on the map? That's your beef. Abraham Lincoln and the ocean. They want to go. They want to throw down. Let them throw down. Let them throw hands. Abraham Lincoln, or as we now know, Gabraham Lincoln. Apparently, he spent a lot of time sleeping with another dude in the White House. But it's all rigged. It's all rigged. It's all rigged. And you live in a world where college students are doing this.
These streamers, these professional gamblers that we see online that are putting out content like this, they're essentially paid actors. And they're incentivized to show you all the good things of gambling because it'll make you watch longer, and then it'll get you to sign up to that casino with their code. He's not just making $100 million, he probably made $200, $300 million off this deal because he gets paid a portion of your losses forever if you sign up for that casino. Between 10 and 15%, it's not a disclosed amount.
So that's what college kids are doing, right? Not only are they going into debt for a fucking college education for a job that's not going to be there because AI is going to take over the job, right? They want a white-collar job, AI is going to take over the job. But they're developing a gambling addiction in the meantime. And the casinos pay charming young people to show them how great gambling is, right? So that Latina girl, she says, oh, I was doing DoorDash, and then I bet it all on roulette, and I won, right? Pretty girl, who wouldn't want her as a girlfriend, right? And you sign up with her code, and she's making money off you for as long as you gamble at that casino. That's a lot. That's an enormous incentive, and no one is better than their incentives. You need to write that down and read that twice a day. And you're going to have a generation of, tattooed fucking Tesla drivers. It's screaming about Abraham Lincoln and broke ass college kids who are broke because they gambled all their fucking money. Now what the fuck is this one that says federal plate? I have no idea what the hell that means. All right, I gotta click on this video and I'll figure out what it is on the other side.
Make sure nobody gets in. I got the front, don't worry.
That's crazy.
Do it, bitch. You fucking Nazi.
Yeah, you might want to get back there.
All right, guys. One at a time. One at a time. Put it up.
That's crazy.
Please put it away. Please make it. Please put it away, man. Get in. Get in, man. Get in. Get the fuck out of here.
Why are you scared to hit a fucking woman? It doesn't fucking matter.
No, fucking way.
Oh, shut. You don't hit people just with your fucking shields.
Do something, you fucking fuck you. Get your fucking rolls. Fuck you, Nazis.
Oh, that's what it was. A license plate. I was like, what the hell is federal plate? Finally, the sexually abused children of the rainbow figured out, take out your fucking smartphone and get a picture of that license plate. If they were smarter still, every time they saw a Penske truck, near one of their stupid little gay pride rallies, they would go over and let the air out of the tires. And that would keep those little masked FBI men there for quite a longer time. And it's only an act of vandalism. It's not a crime, right? So the Patriot Front, the FBI, fucking ICE, or whoever the fuck, whatever feds are doing, feds are still doing stupid Fed shit. And it is not, that's not going to change. It's not going to change until there's no paychecks left in it. Okay, so what else do we have? What else do we have? We'll save that for last. We'll save that one for last. All right, so the Bitcoin dorks went to Prague to have a conference, and this is Samson Mao, who for the big name people that are doing content on Bitcoin, well, he's the guy who's trying to get governments without Bitcoin, and they asked him about it, and here's his answer. You fucking.
We have a lot of engagements. There are always challenges. So we got pretty far with one country in Latin America, and then there was a coup, and then the government was out. We met with the president of Colombia, and now there's like political turmoil because the opponent was attempted to be assassinated. So there's always setbacks everywhere we go, and the crypto aspect also harms our initiatives too, because by and large, a lot of politicians lump it all together. They think it's all the same thing, Bitcoin and crypto.
So what Samson Mao is saying is that I think it was Colombia and another country. They got pretty far, but all of a sudden, when a country gets close to adopting Bitcoin as a treasury asset or something like that, there's a war, there's assassination, there's a coup, there's all sorts of stuff seems to pop up out of nowhere. Just it pops up out of nowhere. And but all in all, you have to remember we're winning. We're just fucking winning, right? Like he said, it's two steps forwards and 3 steps back, or 3 steps forward and 2 steps back. But we're winning. Vietnam just legalized Bitcoin under a new law. Everyone will bend the fucking knee. Everyone. And there's always FUDs. There's always fear, uncertainty, and doubt. And this is the favorite one of people, that quantum computers will break Bitcoin's encryption. And by the way, the experts have predicted when this is going to happen. And I can make a prediction. Those experts don't know what the fuck they're talking about. Their prediction, like Bitcoin being dead, will be forgotten soon enough, and they will pretend they never made it. They will pretend they never made it. And this was, I think I mentioned, I don't know if I mentioned this last week. I love these fucking stories. The kidnapped crypto trader freed after the kidnappers realized he's broke. So poor people are always trying to flex and flash symbols of wealth in front of other poor people. And I don't think some of these people don't understand. They don't understand that other poor people are more than willing to use physical violence to get what you have. So you might want to stop fucking doing that shit. And then what else? Oh fuck! I should have done this before. I should have done this one before. China outpaces the West by several years in a promising economic sector, modular nuclear reactors. That's why the CIA is losing its fucking shit. That's why Oracle is the Oracle thing, right? That's why Oracle is a small nuclear reactor. China's kicking our fucking ass, and that's that. China is kicking our ass. So just like Iran is kicking Israel's ass. Somebody, I like screenshotting this stuff from Twitter, and I don't know who this guy is, Chris Burnett. It turns out that getting into a hypersonic missile war with a country 10 times bigger than you is much more difficult than sniping women and children in refugee camps. You are correct, sir. You are entirely correct. But like I said, the whole world united, stop the war, stop the war, stop the war. And that's not going to happen. This is more likely to happen, even though everyone's saying it's going to happen. This video, they said an American aircraft carrier, the USS Nimitz, which is like 50-something years old and was going to be mothballed. It was going to be taken out of service and chopped up into razor blades, has now been reactivated and sent to the Middle East. And it says somebody wrote, USS Nimitz was hit with a drone and damaged, and an intact Iranian passport was found right next to it. And I was like, dude, you won the fucking internet with that one. So even though everybody knows a false flag is coming, it's not going to stop them from doing the false flag and going forward. You don't have any fucking, you have no power to stop this. Okay. When Satoshi Nakamoto put this fucking headline in the first block of the Bitcoin blockchain, that this headline was included. Meditate on this for a minute. This guy creates a new economic system, an electronic cash, right? That is neutral and unstoppable, and based on proof of work, not proof of stake. And he includes this: Chancellor on the brink of second bailout for banks. And that message, that is not a message of coexistence, right? That's not a message that says, let's all kumbaya, let's all hold hands and get along with each other. That's a message that I want to fucking destroy you, right? That is Satoshi wanting to destroy the existing system. That's what you need to understand, and that's what we're trying to do. And by the way, we're having way more success than anyone else has ever had. And whether they chase Samson Mao around the fucking planet, assassinating everyone he talks to after he talks to them, it isn't going to last in the long run. The long run, we're going to fucking win. The long fucking run, we're going to win, because the corporate army is here. The Palantir, Meta, and OpenAI executives are now commissioned in the U.S. Army. I think it's the U.S. Army Reserves, but they're all going to be like lieutenant colonels, So that's, I think it's like one step underneath general. So I suppose they're going to do that to allow them to, I don't know, They're going to give them inside track on government contracts. They're going to have access to classified, blah 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 blah, and of course, free medical care and a pension from the army. Because they're an officer, right? they're Silicon Valley scumbags who are now officers in the U.S. military. Could be worse. Could be worse. There could be more transgenders. But then again, I don't know. Maybe the transgenders aren't. So what's left? I think we got everything. Okay, get some funny stuff. This is an old comedy sketch. It's 2.5 minutes long. It's a comedy sketch. I don't know if it's from Saturday Night Live or where it's from, but this is a number of years ago when Bitcoin was like $7,000.
Gin.
Oh. I love our little get-togethers.
Well, you know what I don't love? What? Not knowing where to put my money for retirement.
There are just too many options.
401ks, IRAs, savings.
It's so confusing.
Well, you know where I put my money? Where? Bitcoin. What's Bitcoin? Bitcoin is the first decentralized digital cryptocurrency that works without a central bank.
Well, that sounds interesting.
Yeah, and it's so simple to use. Transactions take place through the use of cryptography and are verified by network nodes and recorded in an immutable public distributed ledger called a blockchain. What could be simpler than that?
Nothing. It sounds great.
Right. So is it like investing in stocks? Kind of, but not at all.
Well, I'm on board.
Really? Because I have so many more questions.
Not me.
Where can I get one of these Bitcoins? Can I buy one at my local bank? Of course not. What a dumb question. Thought it was valid.
No, it was dumb.
Bitcoins aren't like regular currency. They're mined. In a physical mine, like gold? That's ridiculous. Bitcoins are mined on computers using the SHA-256 hashing algorithm, creating 12.5 Bitcoins per block. Uh-huh. That is until mid-2020. Uh-huh. And then afterwards, 6.25 Bitcoins per block for 4 years until the next halving. Wait, are we still talking about money? Cryptocurrency.
This sounds so simple.
Shut up, Margaret. There's no way you understood all of that.
Okay.
So, how much do one of these Bitcoins cost? $17,000. $17,000? That's insane.
Sounds like a bargain.
Ugh. And how do you keep track of these things' values? Just check the internet. So far today, its value has gone up $1,000. And now it's down $800, and now it's up $500.
Sounds like you can't lose.
You absolutely can, Margaret.
How do I buy Bitcoins?
It's easy. Just go online and give them your credit card number. Give who your credit card number? Bitcoin. And then let the internet do what it does. What does it do exactly? It Bitcoins.
Here's my credit card.
No! So who started Bitcoin? We think it was Satoshi Nakamoto. Who is that? No one really knows.
He sounds cute.
Margaret, I swear to God. And Bitcoin is the only cryptocurrency I trust with my kids' college fund.
That's smart investing.
That's bat crazy. Now it's down to $3. Easy come, easy go.
This message brought to you by the stock market. Gamble with your retirement the old-fashioned way.
Pretty funny, huh? Funnier still, because Bitcoin's sitting, where are we sitting at right now? 101,000, right? We're at like 101,000. It was 17,000 then, so we're 8 times higher. Ha ha ha. So funny. Well, guess who's having the last fucking laugh?
Fiat Life Hack number 5.
Can't afford rent? Just live in your car. Also, no property taxes.
Fiat Life Hack number 4.
Groceries too expensive? Skip dinner. Fasting saves money and boosts productivity.
Fiat Life Hack number 3.
Can't retire? I have an easy fix for you. Just keep working. Purpose is the new pension.
Fiat Life Hack number 2.
Toilet paper too expensive? Just borrow from public restrooms. Who needs double ply anyways?
Fiat Life Hack number 1.
Gas too expensive? Push your car to work. Commute and cardio in one.
Or you can skip the hacks and just choose Bitcoin.
Yeah, we're gonna end up having the last laugh. So that's I like that one with the black girl going like, "Shut up, Margaret! You don't know what you're talking." Yeah, you guys didn't know what you were talking about. But we're winning. Everyone else is losing. How soon you figure that out is up to you. Lastly, I will leave you with the most popular song on Instagram right now. I guarantee it's the most popular song on Instagram.
Skyline lit, and you cry victim and say you didn't start this, but the whole world sees that your lies are retarded. Now you feel terror like the Palestinians. How does it feel to have bombs drop on your civilians? Yo, you could avoided all this if you wanted to, but humanity never expected good behavior from you Jews. Boom, 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 Tel Aviv, this is what you get for all your evil deeds. Boom, 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 Tel Aviv, you brought this upon yourself. It's your time to bleed. Boom, 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 Tel Aviv, this is what you get for all your evil deeds. Boom, 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 Tel Aviv, you brought this upon yourself. It's your time to bleed.
Guys, Israel just wants peace.
So it's going to be interesting to see if Trump comes out with the pro-Israel song. Watching this, the way these guys are using social media in the 21st century as a propaganda weapon, psychological warfare. I don't have enough popcorn. I'm fascinated by this. Hopefully, this will not be wiped off the internet. It will be useful to future generations. Future history students will come back and study this. And have I covered everything? I think I've covered everything. I have pretty much covered everything and fuck everything up. Anyway, what do we have? Do we have comments? Are there people here? There are people here. T-all. T-all. Who are you, T-all? To eat non-kosher food with chopsticks at least once a week. Who are you? I don't even know who you are. How did you get in here? How did you get in here? How did you get into my chat? Are you allowed to eat non-kosher food with chopsticks once per week? Do it on Saturday, I suppose. Anyway, since you're here, T-all, since you're here and you're highly skilled manipulating chopsticks with your fingers, take your fingers and smash up the like button. You only need one finger. You can do it with a chopstick, perhaps, or probably I'm gonna use a pencil eraser. But you want to go chopstick? Go chopstick. Smash up the like button. Make sure to smash up the like button. And with that, there are no other. Yeah, that's the only comment. So I don't know who you are, T-all. Maybe it's somebody I know with a different screen name. I will tell everybody, sorry for being late, but it was, like I said, too hot. And then yesterday, oh, by the way, my half brother, the one with all the nieces and stuff, he passed away on Wednesday, and they had the service for him on Saturday. I had to see my sister and her kids and their kids, and I got to tell you, not those kids are freaking gorgeous. Jesus Christ, they look like movie star kids. It's amazing. And my nephew's on steroids. So he's roided up to the gills. He's like, he's shaving his head. He has like 4% body fat. And I think I was the only one in the room who knew that. Like everyone else was like, wow, you must really be going to the gym. Yeah, not before he takes a shot. Anyway. But so it was a whole family thing. And then my niece is like, why don't you talk to Aunt Diana? Why don't you talk to my sister? And I'm like, 2 years ago, she told me to shut up. And so I shut up. I don't need to talk to anybody. And it's all bullshit family drama. But it's over for the moment, at any rate. And so that was my Saturday. And then, like I said, today it was just too hot to stream from the road because my car doesn't have air conditioning. Welcome to Fiat Life Hack number 6. Have a cheap car that doesn't have air conditioning to save money. Anyway, for everybody that's going to watch this in the coming week, thanks for stopping by, guys. I'll talk to you again next week.